Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Cynthia, also known as Creative Mama of 3 here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today is Friday, so it's another edition of Friday Sews. Now this week, I think I haven't posted a video in probably roughly 3 weeks because the start of school came about. First we had family over the first week in August. We had some extended family come in from Texas, and it was really nice just to lay back and spend time with them, so I didn't sew anything. And then school started, and my youngest got COVID the day before school started, or tested positive at least before school started. So they had to miss almost the whole first week of school. We did the now she was actually sick. She had a fever, she had a sore throat, she had body ache, she had almost the whole nine. So, we quarantined her up to her room. It was funny, like, 'cause she would send a text, I'm hungry, can I have something to eat? Or I'm thirsty, can I have something to drink? And we would go upstairs and bring it and leave it outside the door, and she would open up the door and take it away. And so we hadn't seen her for a couple of days. And then, so she was sick roughly 3 days. She was sick, and then the last 2 days she was 100% fine. So she went to school on the Friday, so she missed the first 4 days of school. So that wasn't fun. So that was her first day of school. Then on Wednesday, that Wednesday, my middle daughter, she tested positive for COVID. So she had to stay out that Thursday and Friday, the Friday that my youngest went to school, and Monday and Tuesday of the following week. So it wasn't until this Wednesday, 7 days, the 8th day of school, did both my children who are going to in-person school were able to go to in-person school. Now, the day that my middle child, that Wednesday, the Thursday, we all got tested again. My youngest was still positive for COVID, even though she was going to school on Friday because she didn't have a fever. And according to our school system, if you don't have a fever for, I think, at least 24 hours, and she didn't have a fever for 2 days, so that was good, she was able to go to school. But then my oldest, she tested positive for COVID. So I have 3 kids positive for COVID at that moment in time. Luckily, me and my husband had remained negative this whole time. No symptoms, no nothing. But my oldest and my middle daughter never had any symptoms. They didn't have a sore throat, they had no fever, they had no cough, they had no achiness, no nothing. So we were very fortunate about that. But my middle daughter, since she's in person school, she had to wait the 5 days, and then she went. My oldest daughter, we're doing like a virtual homeschooling situation. But since she had to be quarantined to her bedroom, she didn't do any homeschooling either. So, fingers crossed. So far, this whole week, everybody has been, well, no, Wednesday of this week was the first time both my daughters who are going to in-person school have been in school. So that has been great. So I have not gotten any sewing done. I did get some things prepped. I posted a short that I am actually going to be making this pattern. I know Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room loves this pattern. I think she's made like 4 or 5 of them. I guess this is her equivalent to my lyric dress, because my lyric dress, I think I've made 5 or 6 of them at this point. I think maybe more, I don't know. There's definitely more in the future, that is for sure. I have fabric already set aside. Some I'm going to be doing modifications to change it up a little bit. But so what I did is I cut this out from a sheet that I showed in my other video. Let me get that sheet. Okay, so this is what's left of the sheet. I don't know what size it was, but it's a very nice cotton, 100% cotton sheet. Yeah, I don't know what size it was. I was scared that I wasn't going to have enough fabric because this dress is kind of cut in, the pieces are kind of big. Like the back piece is just the whole back that has a seam going up and down the back. I guess you could see it a little bit here. So I had a difficult time with this pattern because the area that I use to, first of all, I traced the pattern. I always trace all my big 4 patterns because you never know when I'm going to need another size or whatever. So I traced it, but since the pattern pieces were so large, and maybe that's also because of my size, because I did make the largest size it comes in, I had a hard time doing it because the space that I use to trace and cut my patterns was too small for the pattern piece. So that was like the only difficult time I had. I had a difficult time tracing the pattern out, and I had a difficult time cutting it on the fabric because of my workspace not being big enough. So I don't know, that's the biggest place I could cut my stuff on. It is actually the island in my kitchen because it's higher. It's not table length, you know, it's a higher up counter, so I don't have to bend over as much. But like I said, it's not big enough. But I did have enough fabric. I was very happy about that. I thought that I was going to need to do like maybe the facings or maybe the lining of the pocket, maybe in like a white or an off-white muslin fabric or another fabric. But I was able to get everything cut out of this, and I do have a little bit left. I might be able to use some of this for the Dress-A-Girl stuff, because this is a really nice easy breezy cotton sheet that I got from Goodwill, which is one of my favorite places. So that is pretty much what I'm working on. I did get the suit for my daughter's cosplay outfit. I'll put a picture of what she wants to be. I'll have to ask her who that is when she gets home from school, because I don't know where it's from. But you can see it's just a plain, we did black. I think the picture looks a little blue to me, but she said a black would be fine. So we went to Goodwill and we bought her a man's blazer and a man's dress pants. The blazer is a little big on her. The dress pants fit perfect. Fits perfect on the waist, perfect on the length. So I don't have to do anything for that. And I was also actually able to get a red tie from Goodwill at a separate visit. So all we need is a button-down shirt for her, which that should be easy peasy. My little lamp is in my way. Which will be a little easy peasy to get at any store. Probably don't even have to get that at a Goodwill, get it at a regular store. But I do have to take in that jacket because my daughter has a really nice hourglass shape. And even though the jacket doesn't need to be fitted, it is too big for her. I had it dry cleaned, so that was great. A friend told me about, instead of paying to have stuff dry cleaned, she uses like cheap vodka and puts it in a spray bottle and sprays the item down, and that supposedly cleans it and maybe sanitizes it or gets the smell out or whatever. But since I bought it at Goodwill and I don't know where it's been before it got to my hands, I had it professionally dry cleaned. So I'm not sure how to take that in. I kind of don't care if I mess it up a little bit. It only cost me $5 at Goodwill for the suit jacket, and it cost me $15 to get the jacket and the pants dry cleaned. So I don't have a lot of money invested in this item, but if you guys know if you all know of any tutorial videos or any tips or tricks on how to take that jacket in, it does have a full lining. It is a full men's suit. Maybe I'll post a picture here of her wearing it as is, and then maybe pin it a little bit to see. I was thinking about taking off the lining, or at least disconnecting the lining from, I guess, the bottom of it maybe, and then putting it on her inside out, and then clipping it, and then just sewing it. I don't know. I kind of think that might be the easiest way of doing it. I don't know, but let me know if you have any other ideas. I think the shoulder pads are kind of sticks out a little bit on her. I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting. I've never done that before. I've never made a suit jacket before. I made like a coat in one of my cosplays, but I never made like a actual suit jacket. So that also what I hope to be doing this week. I'm going to be finishing this up. Like I said, this is all cut out, ready to be sewn. And then also work on her suit jacket. Now, Jen is always very kind enough to provide us some talking topics on our Friday Sews videos, and I always want to do them, but by the time I get to record, I totally forget all of what they are. So I did write them down, and I'm going to do the whole month of August, since this is the last week of August and I didn't do any of these questions. The first prompt was favorite sewing book or books. Now, I kind of don't refer too much to sewing books. If I have a question or don't know how to do something, I either ask one of my two good friends who are more advanced sewers than me, especially my one friend, Marianne. Hi, Marianne. Hope you're watching. She's fabulous. She makes, I don't think there's anything she can't make. She does, marching band uniforms for our high schools. She's done gowns. She does cosplay. She went to see Hamilton at our, the traveling show at our local theater, and she went as Hamilton. I thought it was fabulous. She kind of gives me the inspiration to do my holiday outfits, figure if it's a holiday, let's celebrate it with a new outfit. So she is my inspiration, and I always go to her for help. But I did get this book here, and this actually ties in a little bit with another question on our August thing about classes you've attended. Now, I did have a sewing class in middle school. We did a pair of pajama bottoms. And then I had a sewing class in high school where we did a shirt and shorts. And the pajama bottoms in middle school came out okay. The shirt and shorts in high school did not come out okay. I used totally the wrong fabric. I could see that now, but I don't even think I finished it. And it was a whole semester, so that was more than enough time to finish a t-shirt and shorts, but I didn't do it. But so the class that I just took a class last year, took Sewing 1, which I'm kind of beyond Sewing 1. Sewing 1 was learning how to thread your machine and sewing in a straight line. And we ended up sewing a tote bag, a pin cushion, and a pillow. Those are the 3 things that we accomplished. But the requirement was this book. And this book I referenced a little bit. It does show you different seaming techniques, like the the one that you do on jeans, the felt down seam or something like that. And it teaches you French seaming, which I already knew. So it teaches you quite a few different techniques. So I'm going to actually look through this about altering that jacket maybe before I start. But this was a required book for that class, and I have found it very helpful. So this is great. It tells you about what kind of needles to use for what fabric. So this is a pretty good book. I think it was like, it was probably, it says $20 printed on there, but I think I got it cheaper than that on Amazon, or maybe even at the bookstore. I think I got it at the college bookstore. So this is one of my go-to books. And I do have a ton of books and magazines on sewing, knitting, crocheting, and all that. A lot of them I get at Goodwill, because hardcovers at my Goodwill are $1.40 each, and soft covers are 99 cents. So when I find like a vintage sewing book, I can't pass it up. I always usually buy that. Okay, so then that also ties in with the August 12th prompt, which is tending classes. Now, I attended the first class, and I only really did the first class because they wouldn't allow you, the school, to sign up for Sewing 2, which I felt was more something that would have benefited me more than Sewing 1. But no, not enough people signed up for that class. I think they need like maybe 8 or 9 students in order to make the class worthwhile to have. So I had to do Sewing 1, and then when I went to do Sewing 2, not enough people signed up for it, so it got canceled. Now I'm back. The classes are starting up again, school's starting up again, so I'm going to try and see if I can get into Sewing 2. So please wish me luck, because I really wanted Sewing 2. They have a Sewing 3 And then they have like an alterations class, but I think both of those classes are at night, and I really can't drive in the dark these days. I just really can't do it. So I don't know if I'm going to be taking those classes, but I could definitely take two. Two is in the morning on Tuesdays. So I really need to sign up to that class. Okay, and now the prompt for August 19th was, how do you store your fabric? Now, I used to just leave them on the bolts and either put the bolts like up here is tulle that I was supposed to make my daughter a tutu at once upon a time, and I just never got around to doing it. Or sometimes like here, you can see like this is a mess. This needs to be fixed up. Or what I did at one point is that I had 3 of these bins behind me. These are just fabric bins. These I got at the dollar store, and they're really great. And what I would do is I had put the girls' names on them, and whenever I buy a piece of fabric, I would just, for them, I would just throw it in there, and then whenever I wanted to make them something, I would get it out and use that. But I ran out of space doing it that way. So now you can see here is I put them on comic book boards here, and I stand them up. I have a chunk of fabric here. I just got new boards, so I'm going to probably end up doing that sometime today or this week. And even behind me, I find that, one, I could see what I have instead of struggling to find what I need. And then also, I think I could fit more on a shelf this way. You know, at first I started putting them, I really need to reorganize them a little bit and separate them from knits and wovens and all that, but I think this is a great way. So when I want to do something, or if I don't know what to make and I'm trying to get ideas, looking at the fabric sometimes inspires me and says, oh, I can use that for a purse. And I don't have a whole bunch of fabric here that has much yardage for clothing, because like before I had said in my other videos, I started out quilting, so I would buy only 1 yard of fabrics that I liked. And with clothing, at least in my size, 1 yard doesn't really get you that much. You can always do color blocking or a multicolor thing, you know, and I would probably do that on some of them, but that's where those are. Now for how do you store your patterns, that's on the other side of my room, so I will show you in just a moment. Okay, this is a part of my sewing room that you don't normally see. I store my patterns in categories, and I have them standing up in clear plastic shoe boxes that I got from the dollar store, or you can get them from Walmart. And then once I use the pattern and I trace it out and all that, then I put them in here. Yep, and then I put it in here. This is another fabric square, and some of them I have in little Ziplocs here. But normally what I do is I will put a copy of what the pattern is, or a printout of the pattern. These are PDFs, and then I have them in there. And then if it's a big 4 pattern, which I have used, well, what I do is I'll put the envelope on there as well. I'll take a photocopy of the envelope and put it there, and this has worked pretty well for me. And then what I'll do on the envelope on the back is that on the back I will put what sizes I've print out and traced, so then when I go to make it, I know what sizes I already did that for. It's very helpful when it comes to my girls because they're all different sizes. Okay, everyone, that is what I've been up to, and since, you know, and also my family life and what my sewing plans are. I also did not go shopping at Goodwill these past couple of weeks, so I don't have a wacky Goodwill find for you, but I hope to fix that because I do need to get my thrifting fix. I haven't done that, haven't gone thrifting in quite a while, so I need to do that. So that is everything I have for today. Thank you for joining me today and spending some time with me. If you want to see more of my videos or see how my cosplay outfits come out, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. And also comment below on what is your favorite sewing book, so maybe I could take a look at that. And also if you have any tutorials that you know of that may help me in sizing down that jacket for my daughter. And I can't wait to get into that. So thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope where you are, the sun is shining. I hope your family is healthy, and I hope you're able to be creative every day, even if it's just for a little bit. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye.